to the Dank Mangoes Nations podcast. We have our very lovely guests here again, Antonio and Vanessa.
Part 2.
It's part 2.
Why is your collar
They
popped?
didn't leave and then come back. They were just here. This is just the second episode, so you know. Yeah, but here they are again. But our topic today is gonna be bro code and girl code, and just our opinions on the codes in general, and like I guess our opinions and what we want to weigh in on it, if it's good or if it's shitty, essentially.
We're reading these codes from online, and then we're gonna give our judgment on them. To be clear,
Oh yeah, she doesn't
we
want.
didn't make them up.
Right, she wants to make sure that she doesn't believe these rules, but she's just reading them online.
What? Some of them, I believe.
Okay, go ahead. You start off.
Okay. We're starting with girl code number 1. All right. It says no hating on other women that you don't know. I think that's bullshit.
I'll bleep it.
Okay. Yeah, no hating on women, period. Like, why? That's weird. Like, why do you walk by a girl and you're like, oh, she's so pretty. Like, I hate, well, I mean, okay, I do that, but I don't mean that. Why are you hating on women in general? That's weird. That's so weird because women mostly do that when they're jealous.
What was the code? I'm sorry. What was the code?
No hating on other women that you don't know. But I'm like fining it down to like no hating on other women
Period.
in general.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
And that mostly stems from insecurities. Let's talk about that. Insecurities, when you're insecure and you're like, oh, she has this and I don't have it, so it manifests as hate.
Even when you're friends, you just
With
like,
your
It's kind of worse.
Oh
when you're
my
with your
God.
friends.
sorry, friends, acquaintances.
No, that's a good point. Cause some girls, they'll be competitive with their other girls, like best friends, like
I know
frenemies.
this.
Frenemies.
I know this.
Yeah.
I think you know.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. No names. No names. No names.
No names, but that's.
Put them on blast.
No, thank you.
Put them on blast.
No, thank you. I
Say the
will
name.
not put them on blast.
So I mean, see, they go through it too. It's just like, why are you hating? Just chill out.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why you gotta put someone down.
Yeah.
Like for real. I rarely see it in guys where we talk shit about how that person looks. I think for guys it's more of a joke whenever they do that type of shit, because I know I do it for like whenever I do sneakers, like on sneakers, like I'm mad about like losing out to a person who wears a certain sneaker type of way. To me it's more of a joke. It hurts, but it's more of a joke.
Like,
it's not really it doesn't stem from me like hating or like malicious intent. It's more like I'm trying to joke to make myself feel better about not getting the shoe, you know?
Like, I mean, that also depends on like your background and like the culture, because like definitely in the black community, especially among males, like among women, but among males too, like putting others down was like that was high. Like it was known.
What, like toxic
Like
masculinity?
like talking about it was known. Like it wasn't hard for someone to shy away from that. Like even me, like I've done it sometimes to other guys, and especially if you're making it in the world, you know, you're having a big come up, you know, you have your haters, mainly because, you know, they don't have what you have.
Right.
And they always say, oh yeah, you're not giving back, you know, you're not doing this, you're always talking about what you're not doing and not saying, you know, I support you, like you're doing your thing.
Now, are you saying that like they have malicious intent when they're doing
Sometimes,
that?
so not everyone. There are some who have malicious intent. They let that hate build so much, and they're like, oh, I despise him, and they don't really have, they don't have a reason to despise that person, besides the fact that they have a lot of things that you want, but you can't get.
Okay.
And it can be malicious. Like they could genuinely be trying to like bring you down, like bring you back down with where they are. Instead of them.
That's when you gotta cut them off.
Yeah, that's when you cut them up, and that's when you gotta cut people off. And then for the person who is trying to do that, you gotta, you know, think to yourself, hey, what can I do to get there or be better? You know?
Okay. So it happens to. I guess that's not necessarily a girl code. It's more like
it's
an everyday. Thing.
Yeah.
It's just like
just like a competition thing.
Yeah.
More of like it, yeah. But
Yeah.
I think it's
but
more
it's
common.
big. Yeah.
Yeah,
with
It's
females.
big in the women.
Yeah.
Like.
It's
what
more
we do,
it's more expressed in women.
Yeah, because you'll.
I think
you'll
for guys
hear
it's
it.
like subtle.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of like
You'll hear it. You'll be like, oh. Like,
Yeah.
Ew. But like.
Are you guilty of that or no?
No, but like I say it in a way that I'm like, oh, I hate her. She's so pretty.
Okay, so it's like a
Yeah.
compliment. It's not really.
like-
Yeah.
It's not an insult.
But like, why is that a thing? Why is that normalized
that
to
normalized?
say it
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that?
yeah.
I don't know.
That's
Maybe-
where it stems from. It
I
stems
guess.
from the hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You want to switch to guy code?
Yeah,
You
we'll
want a
just
guy code. All right, cool.
go back
We'll
and
go back and
forth.
forth with it. All right, so let's see. Never hook up with or date a bro's ex-girlfriend, and then they put in parentheses without permission.
I believe in that.
I would agree.
I would totally agree because I've seen countless times where like you break up with your girl, 2 days later your best friend's and hitting her up, you know, and
Right.
like that just meant your best friend had no respect for
Right,
the
because he had
relationship.
that in the back.
Because he had his back and he's like, oh, I can't wait for them to.
break up.
I can't wait for you to fuck up, dude, so I can get with you.
Right,
and
right,
get with
right.
her. Now, like,
I think the exception to this rule is if your friend genuinely liked the person
Yeah.
and can see and value, and they give you time. I think that's the exception to this rule because, like, you know, like people are gonna date whoever they
Yeah.
want to date. You know what
So-
I mean?
so
As
yeah.
long as it's respectful, or I feel
If
like
it's
he was respectful to me about it, then I'm cool with it. And as long as I didn't have a terrible falling out with that person.
right,
If I had a terrible falling out with that person, if you're a true friend and you know what I went through
right,
in that, then have the decency to, you know, kind of also distance yourself away from that person. You don't have to necessarily be mean to the person,
right.
but just like, you know, don't just kind of stay away essentially for me. But if it was a mutual breakup and everything was fine between me and the person, give me some time, and then if you want to, go for it. But don't just immediately go for it, because then I feel like it's out of disrespect. Like,
Yeah,
it's
disrespect.
disrespectful. You know?
Even if they don't have that intent,
Right.
it's still disrespectful.
It seems disrespectful just because like you
'Cause
know
then-
what they went through.
Because if let's say you're having a bad breakup and you're going through a heartbreak, and then you're on your timeline and you see your homeboy with your ex-girl,
Right.
that's just
It
gonna
doesn't
send
seem
you,
right.
That's just gonna send you like you're gonna go off the edge on that.
Right.
I know I would.
I would too. Yeah.
So like, and that's just, it's kind of dangerous. So like, so yeah, I believe in that one. That one's kind of
That's the solid bro code.
yeah, it's a solid.
That goes into the other one that I was gonna go into. Figure out your group's man rules before things happen. So you're supposed to, you know, talk about it first, like you guys said, give each other time. But let's talk about how men and women would handle it differently. So
Okay.
if you guys saw that happen with your friend and your ex-girlfriend, how would you react?
What's the circumstance? Like, was it a
Like,
good breakup?
Say it was let's do both scenarios.
All right. So if it was a clean breakup and me and the person were just like, all right, cool, you know, it's not meant to be, everything's fine, we're cool. Are you saying that it was immediate that my friend started
Yeah.
hooking up or dating this person?
Yeah.
I would feel disrespected, yeah, but I think I would take my time to space away from that person for a bit, just so I can have a level head when I do talk to that person. Because I don't want to. The thing is, I don't want to lash out at someone, like out of like I don't want to be emotional and lash out on someone. I want to think about it kind of rationally and just like be like, why did you do it? Like, why did you do it? And then try to understand where he's coming from. But that'll take me time, so I need like my space away from this person.
Right. Okay.
So I wouldn't directly confront them immediately. I'd wait until I'm level-headed again and then just talk to them about it. But for the other situation, if it ended up being really bad and then they just like hooked up immediately right after the whole breakup, I'd cut that person off, honestly, because it's just like, you never really liked me in that relationship. You were just looking for your chance at that point. And like, you should know, especially if it was a bad breakup for my part, like say that she was cheating on me, if she had cheated on me, if you were a true friend of mine, you would value how I feel, and kind of just like be respectful and kind of be like, all right, cool, she cheated, she hurt you, you're my friend, I'm gonna, I'm gonna do whatever I can to support you and help you get through this. But instead what they're doing is they're kind of just like flipping it, and they're kind of stabbing you in the back. So I'd cut that person off. I wouldn't be like, I don't think I'd be like very, very confrontational. Like, I wouldn't be angry and just like yelling. I'd just be like, nah, bro, you're out. I'm like, I'm not hanging out. I'm not cool with you no more. I feel like I'd just be calm about it and just be like, you're not part of my life. That's how I would deal with it.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same for me. I mean,
but again, it's also because we're older. We could have acted different.
Oh yeah,
way
back
back
in like middle school. Oh no, I was the guy that.
Oh boy, that laugh, yeah.
I'm not proud of those moments, but
I didn't know you were angry in middle school because you seemed calm.
No, I was the guy that went for the girl right after.
Oh, so you did this?
Yes.
How dare you? I'm kidding. I love you.
How dare you?
But it wasn't with ill intent. Doesn't really matter. I'm still horrible. But also we were young, so it was young. Like everyone was bouncing around between people, and it was like a friendly competition back in those days. But yeah, like I feel the same way. Like it's 100% disrespectful to do that, especially if you value your friendship in any form. With
the bad breakup situation.
Honestly, with both situations. With both. I mean, if you come to me and talk about it, okay, then yeah, go for it. But like, that's the biggest thing. Even if it was a bad breakup, come to me and talk about it before you try to do anything, like at all. Like as soon as it comes to your head, like you need to hit me up. Like don't come to me saying, oh yeah, we've been talking, I think we can go somewhere. Like before you even start talking, like come to me, let's talk about it first. Make sure you know where I'm at with her and like know our situation, because that could be valuable information for you if you actually want to pursue her or him or whatever. But like just come, and plus like you're supposed to be my homeboy,
right,
or my homegirl. Like you gotta like come talk to me, like especially if you don't really know what happened with the relationship. If you just hear, oh, they broke up, let me go slide in, like that's
because that puts the thought in the back of your head, like, have you been thinking about this the whole time?
And you know they have, because like no person is just, it doesn't just click like that. Like if I were to break up with Ness right now, and then it just clicked in your head, oh, I like Ness. No, that doesn't happen. Like you've always
you had that thought.
You've had
it's
that
built up.
Yeah, it's built up.
You're just suppressing it because you're friends. So
like you've always had that in the back of your head, or you've always known, you just never acted on it because you were respectful of the relationship. But that still doesn't give you grounds to go ahead and just actively pursue them right after we break up, because you're still supposed to be, you know,
respectful towards the person.
Yeah, so you're supposed to be my best friend. So like, come talk to me about it. If you're having those feelings, that's cool. I'm not gonna get mad at you for having those feelings. As long as you come talk to me first.
Okay. So are you saying that you'd be okay with it as long as they talk to you, or?
Pretty much. Also, it depends on the scenario. It depends who it is, honestly.
Okay.
It depends.
Like it depends on how much time you put into that person and that relationship.
Yeah, I mean, not even the person I'm dating. Depends on the friend too.
So both. Okay.
Both. Depends on who it is. Cause like, let's say if it's a friend who I've seen like kind of flirt while we were in a relationship, like taking steps to like doing things that may have disrespected the relationship, and then we break up and now they want to go pursue them. I'm just like.
Right.
That all just adds up.
It seemed disrespectful because they weren't respecting your relationship.
Yeah, so it was just like, oh, so I know you were waiting for this to happen. So
right.
You weren't really there to be my friend. You were there because you were trying to stay close to
the girl. Right. Okay. Your turn. Oh wait, that was yours, right?
Yeah, that was the same.
That was the same one. Yeah. All right. I guess for ours, I don't know. This only happens if you actually go out and meet or try to meet women. If your bro needs a wingman, always step up to the plate. I believe that to be true. It doesn't necessarily mean like you have to be that you have to like go to a bar or anything. It can be in any setting. Essentially, if that person wants to talk to a girl, you're kind of like being their hype man, essentially. And I think Yeah, I believe in that rule for me at least, because like I feel like guys have that tendency to be, or for the most part, guys have that tendency to be like they're doubting themselves, so you want to hype them up, and you kind of want to build up that person that they're trying to impress. If like
build their self-esteem.
Right. If they don't have like really good game, you kind of want to
hype them up.
You want to back them up so that they can actually have the potential to talk to this person.
Right.
You want to be that support person to help them, to kind of like push them towards talking to that person. What do you think?
Yeah, should always be a wingman whenever you get the chance, unless they're being an asshole. You know what I mean?
Okay. I think that's like, any circumstance.
Yeah. But I mean, no, like, I mean, even if you're out at the bars and everyone has that one asshole friend, but you still love them anyway.
Do we have that in our group?
We used to. They're no longer with us, but.
You made it sound like they died. Jesus Christ.
No, they're living.
But they're not in our
lives.
group.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But everyone, at some point in your life, you probably will have that one asshole friend, and you have to have, a line. If your homeboy is out at the club and he's kind of being an asshole to this woman, he's like, bro, wingman for me, like.
Oh, okay. That's what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Okay,
So like,
cool.
don't push for him being an asshole towards a woman.
Yeah,
like,
don't be.
Because then at that point, you're just validating that what he's doing to a woman is right.
Right.
To that female is right.
Yeah.
So if that person is being an ass to the girl, then don't wingman. Yeah.
So
okay,
what do you
agree with that.
do if your friend is an asshole overall? Do you still wingman for him?
I mean, if he's an asshole overall.
What do you mean by asshole overall, though?
What if he treats women really poorly?
Then I don't think he would be my friend.
Yeah, I don't think
I
would not be in that situation.
I wouldn't be in that situation because I have a tendency to be around people who share my values. Mm-hmm. And I think that's how everyone should be.
So you guys have never had a friend who's like...
I'm not saying I've never had that friend, but I've never vouched for that friend. Yeah. And I'll never...
Okay.
Yeah.
And if that friend I knew he was an asshole, I would not be his friend any longer.
Yeah. And
that's
like,
what I mean.
If you are their friend and you actually do value your friendship with them, then it becomes your job to call them out.
Right.
Like, as long you can, like...
If they have asshole tendencies, you
have
to call them out.
Call them out.
And
like,
then
that's
they'll
the biggest
see
thing. Yes.
If they grow from it,
yes, don't validate it, call them out. And just make sure, you're not giving, like I said, not giving them that validation, because then they'll continue to be an asshole.
Right.
But if you know they're an asshole, you see them doing asshole things, just call them out. That's the biggest thing. And don't be afraid. If you're afraid to call them out on their bullshit, you probably need to cut them out of your life.
Okay. Fair point.
Okay. Next girl code is when you receive the question, how do I look? Whether it's like from your friend or from your girlfriend. If any woman is asking you, honesty is the best policy. So for example, if your girlfriend asks you, how do I look? And like you don't necessarily think they look good, how are you going to break it to them?
Are you talking to me? I thought this
both
was
of
your
you.
code.
But I'm asking, how would you break it to them?
Am I pretending to be a girl or just be myself?
Like if a girl, any woman in your life asks, how do I look? And they don't look okay, what would you say?
I would be nice about it. Like I would, like hold on, real quick. The way I'm wording it is kind of weird, but I would be nice about it and tell them like I don't think that works with this.
Okay.
I tell them what works and what doesn't work. I wouldn't be like you look like shit. I would never straight up say you look like shit unless I'm in a relationship with someone and they get my humor and they can understand that humor. But unless they're like that, then I would break it down like this doesn't really look good with this, or you should change this. There might be an argument. They're guaranteed there might be an argument coming out of it because I think the female might take that the wrong way. Yeah. Because like I think in their mind they put hard work into what they're wearing and they think that they look good, but then when they ask, the thing is when they ask their partner or their friend how they think they look, that now turns to the other person, and that's now you have to value their opinion. Right. Because like I'm not gonna say most girls because I don't know, to be honest with you. I think I've seen a lot more in like shows and stuff. If they ask, hey, how do I look, and the guy gives their honest opinion or the girl gives their honest opinion, the girl gets mad. But at that point, when you ask that person, you have to value their opinion, and you kind of have to like take it with a grain of salt. If you think you look good and you feel confident in it, go ahead and wear it. But I'm just giving my opinion.
I don't do that.
There's a trick to that.
Huh?
Oh, there's a trick. Oh,
what do you mean?
Hey,
I don't do that.
No, this doesn't.
Tips with Antonio.
It just takes a little like you just have to like read people a little bit. That's all it takes.
So you gotta read the room.
You gotta read the room, like with Ness, if she's getting ready.
She's like, I don't believe this shit at all.
Now listen, and this is with anyone. It's with anyone. Like especially if you know them and like you're seeing the process they're getting to like get ready.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the easiest situation. Like if you're looking at them and you see them and like they're not really second guessing anything, and you can kind of tell that they're feeling themselves. Like they kind of tell that they feel good about what they're wearing or like how they look. Like take note of that, and if they ask you, hey, do I look good? Like they already genuinely say, hey, do I look good? Already giving like a positive connotation to like their outfit.
The way their tone is
about it and everything. Like odds are, if you say they look bad, they're gonna get angry.
See, but that's why I wanted to jump in. If you ask that question, do I look good? That means I'm asking for your opinion, and you should value that person's opinion.
So are you being honest?
So that's what I'm saying. Like,
damn, you're throwing yourself in a pit.
Yeah, no, but listen. Let me finish. So there's, and that's where that what you said comes into play. Like, it's just my opinion. Like, sometimes females just want to hear, and even guys, they want to hear that they look good because they already feel good about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to hear it from someone else.
Okay.
So like sometimes I think it's okay to give up that honesty, unless they look terrible. Then just give up, your opinion and be like, yeah, you look good. Because especially if you can tell that they're really feeling themselves. Because if they think they look good, then they look good. Like, they think they look good. If I think I look good, I'm going to go out the way I look. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care about what other people think.
Yeah.
So, like, unless they look trash, I feel like you can lie, I guess. You don't have to be too harsh.
No.
But there's also the other scenario that, like, let's say
she already doesn't like you in this scenario.
But let's say, okay, they're getting ready and they're like really second guessing their outfit. They're switching it up every 5 seconds. They're like redoing their makeup. And then like by the end of whatever the concoction they put together, like, does this look okay? How do I look? Then give your honest opinion. Like help them like work things out with them and try to make them look good.
So you're saying read the room.
Yeah, read the room. Definitely read the room. Because you can tell if someone's like really feeling themselves or someone needs help and looking good.
Okay, I get you. So you're saying you got to read the room and the fact that is she asking for your honest opinion because she needs help, or does she want the validation that she does look good in the outfit?
Yes.
Y'all took this so deep.
Hold on, but I feel like
because this is
no,
this can get guys in trouble.
Yeah,
though.
this is the like tipping point between going out and then having an argument and not going out.
That's true.
What I meant was, don't let me go out and look stupid.
No, but
that's what we
said.
I meant. That's what we said. Don't unless they look like dumb as fuck. You don't really need to go into like that. Like if I said
stupid.
Like if your outfit was actually good and then I just nitpicked at something, you would be upset with me.
I think because like there's a fine line between don't let me go outside and look stupid, but also if I'm wearing this and I feel good in it, then I'm killing it.
Right.
Exactly. So at that point, are you asking for his honest opinion?
So at that point, I'm asking.
Or you're looking for the
I'm
validation?
asking. Okay, so if I look like a hot mess, does it look like a put together hot mess? Does it look like,
Well, I mean,
coherent?
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. If I'm wearing something and I really dig it, I mean, like, do I look put together?
Mm-hmm.
Not, does this look good together? Because in my head, it looks good together already. So
but
you don't
then
get
why ask that question?
So I ask you because then I'm the one going out with you, and I don't want to look stupid because, like, okay, so say my makeup is like, like makeup's different nowadays. Like it's really edgy. You can do what you want, but there's also a fine line between being different and then like not blending and just like putting black. Like
Right.
just like you're intentionally trying to blend it out, but you don't. There's that difference.
Okay.
That's what we're asking. We're asking like, do we look
Put together.
Okay. Yeah.
So you don't want us to
I'm lost.
hold on. So you don't want us to tell you about your outfit. You just want us to say, "Hey, are we put together?" Is essentially.
But like, I don't want to go outside and look stupid.
Yeah, that's what it
But
comes
then-
down to.
but
You
then-
have to have good judgment of style.
I do have good
Not
judgment of
you, the
style.
person you're asking. Like, they have to have good judgment. Because, like, if they don't see you look stupid, they're not going to say you look stupid.
Okay, so for example, the other day, Rachel, Kathy, and I were getting ready together, and Rachel was like, "Does this look okay?" I said, it looks good, but your blacks are not matching.
Mm-hmm.
That's what made it not look okay. It was cute. She could wear it. She could pull it off. But the blacks were not matching, and it would show in pictures, and that's what I was thinking.
So I think you want like the critique. You want like a specific critique, not
Yeah.
just
You want
look
constructive
okay.
criticism.
Yeah.
So okay,
You
yeah,
want constructive criticism.
yeah. You want it to be like, okay, what's wrong with this?
Yeah.
Yes. If
Not
there's
just like,
anything wrong.
no, you don't look good.
Right. Like,
Yeah,
I
okay.
want it to be like, oh, the belt should be this belt instead of that belt. Not like...
That's what will lead to less
Yeah.
arguments.
Yeah,
essentially. Okay.
exactly. Because now we know you're paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
You're actually paying attention to detail, and you're not just going, that looks okay. Like, I know this looks good, but what could make it better, or what
Okay.
could make it?
But can we talk about when the guy actually thinks you look good, doesn't see anything wrong, and then you're like, you're lying.
But we can tell. You said read the room, right?
But
We can tell when you're like when you're facing your video game and you're like, yeah, that looks good.
No, I look at you every time.
I know. No, I'm not saying you. I'm
Oh.
saying you, but not you.
The viewer.
Yeah, assuming you're a guy, I guess. But yeah, if you're like elsewhere and I can tell,
Okay.
I'm gonna call you out on it. I'm gonna be mad.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But girls, like women, we can take that criticism if we
It's put
realize it makes sense.
Yeah.
If it's put right,
Yeah.
if it's worded right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
exactly.
Short break, real quick. But we'll get back to these rules. And that was confusing, but yeah, I got it. I got the idea. Constructive criticism, folks. But yeah, we'll come back to it with more rules.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Alright, we're back. And we're going to have our last rules. Codes. Yeah, codes. We're gonna come back with our last code starting with me, or the guy code. Alright, I'll start it off. I guess this is the last one. Okay, so this one. Be a man. And I think that's can be misconstrued in so many ways because I think both me and you were raised in that super masculine kind of mode.
Yeah.
And I don't think that really applies anymore.
Does
Yeah.
that have a description?
Yeah,
What
so
does it say?
it's really weird how they word it. It's not really even like a good description of what it is. But I'm assuming what they mean by be a man is just like don't show emotions, like don't show emotions in front of your bros, and just like in general, just like
I hate that.
what's it called? I don't know. But you know what I mean
I know
when
what you mean,
when
yeah.
people tell you, "Hey, just be a man."
Be man.
Yeah, but I feel
definitely,
like it's changed so much,
It's-
especially in the past 3 years
yeah.
for guys. Because like I think a lot more guys are embracing the other side more. Not like completely embracing like the feminine side, but just like having feminine touches or having like just like those characteristics and just attention to detail in their like traits.
Yeah, it's not even like a feminine thing. It's,
It's
just
just-
like emotions.
Right.
Like,
Just
it's not,
embracing
But
the
for-
fact
but
that you can acknowledge and have that emotion and put it out there,
Yeah.
and you don't have to hold it in.
But for us when we were growing up, I
It
think
was, like,
we were
yeah,
taught like,
stop
hey, you
crying,
can't.
like,
Right.
It's
Stop.
a huge
crying
thing.
for,
Yeah.
Like, why are you crying? Are you?
like get over it.
Right.
And, like stuff like that. but-
Like boys have been groomed and accustomed to oh, you have to play with this because it makes you tougher, where girls have to do lighter activities like ballet and less rough activities, and when girls cry,
it's okay.
Parents are attentive to it.
Yeah.
Right.
But when a boy cries, you have to leave him alone and they have to man up.
Yeah.
Like they have to essentially, like they have to grow up and they have to figure it out and kind of just like push all that emotion to the side and just be like, hey, be okay already. You know?
Honestly, that's probably why I don't cry. When I was a child, I used to cry all the time. I was a crybaby. Like I'm sensitive. I'm very sensitive.
I'm not gonna lie, I was too.
Yeah.
Like, but
And
it
then,
wasn't
like-
emotional. It was more like whenever I'd scrape my knee, whenever like
Yeah,
physical
just
like
even
injuries.
physical stuff. And then when I was emotional, I would like when I would get angry, I would cry. Like I express a lot of things with crying, and some of it wasn't really healthy. Like sometimes I really had no reason to be crying, but like I think that kind of shaped me to not cry as much. Like there's probably times where I could have cried, and maybe I felt the need to cry, but I just couldn't.
Mhm.
Like it just wasn't. Like my threshold to cry is very like it's up there now.
Right.
Like it takes a lot, like, a lot. Like,
Which is not necessarily always
it's
a
not.
good
Yeah,
thing.
it's not always a good thing, but it's
Yeah.
not always a bad thing either. But like, it's if you know how to show your emotions.
I'm supposed to cough away from the mic. I fucking cough straight into it. All right, I'm stupid. Hey.
But it's if you're like
If you can correctly.
express your
Express your
emotions. Yeah.
emotions.
Then you don't
I
necessarily
see.
need to cry necessarily. It's just like
If you can emote.
yeah,
Mhm.
what you're feeling and talk about it.
Hmm.
So it's not always necessarily.
Cause I've always hated that. Cause like I said, when I was a kid, I'd scrape my knees a lot. Like obviously every kid scraped
Yeah.
their knees and shit, and I would cry because it's fucking painful
Yeah,
to
sure.
scrape your knees and shit like that. But my friends would be like, "Hey, are you a man or a woman?" And it's like basically like, or be a man, like, bro, like be a man, and just in general.
Come on.
And I was told that so many times, and that mentality went into me, just like, "Hey, I'm a man, I can't cry." And I guess for me in relationships, I did hide when I needed to cry. Like I wouldn't physically emote in front of people, but the reason why I didn't physically emote in front of people, or like basically I didn't cry in front of people, was because I didn't want to burden them. It wasn't necessarily that I didn't want to show any type of emotion. It was more of I didn't want to burden them with my problems, because if I think I can handle the problem by myself, I'll just handle it. and
That
I'll
could
deal
also
with
be
it.
another thing that that men are groomed to do, is to, you know, put others first, like suck it down, be a man, you know, put the
I
other
guess.
person's emotions first. It's like you think you're not groomed to be that way, but it is a
Is
sort
that a-
of way that guys are groomed to be. Bread makers, like for example, being a bread maker, you have to work, you have to be tired, you have to provide, no matter how tired you are, for the entire family, and you have to just put all your needs aside just to do that. That's another thing. It's like similar to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know, I thought that it was just like a person just caring about their friends. I didn't necessarily think it was like a be a man kind of thing. I just thought it was in general just
I think that's just where your good heart comes into play and like interprets it, and like you turn that into something good.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think it can be both.
Yeah. It can,
Okay.
Yeah.
But going back to like your parents or whatever, like telling you like stop crying when you have.
I don't think
right
my
to be
parents ever
crying.
did that to me. If I cried,
No,
they were
my
okay with it.
yeah, no, my parents did that to me, and like I'm not mad at them for it, but I remember this one time specifically, and I've told you this story. I was outside, I was on my bike, and I was with my cousins and a couple of my friends, and my cousin wanted to race me on my bike. Like he was on foot, I was on my bike, and he wanted to race down the hill.
Right.
So I was like, bet, I'm gonna win. I was losing, and I was watching him, like, we were going down the hill, like, full speed. I wasn't really paying attention to what was in front of me, and I see him, like, winning. I was like, what the fuck? He's on foot, and he's winning. Of course, he was, like, older, so
Right.
he was,
Speed.
I didn't have, like, a full, like, adult bike. It was a child's bike, so of course he was gonna win. But I wasn't paying attention, and we got to the bottom of I didn't realize we were at the bottom of the hill, so I hit the curb
Oh boy.
on my bike, and I
You flew.
flipped. I flew and I flipped and I landed in a split, and I also scraped my knee, like a big scrape on my knee. And like I'm pretty sure I blacked out for like 10 seconds, and when I came to, I like realized what was going on, and like I just snapped. Like I started crying. I was wailing, and like they had to carry me back to my house. And when I got in the house, my dad was like, "What the hell? What happened?" And I was crying, and they had to clean it up, of course. And of course, you hate that part because you gotta pour peroxide
alcohol
on
and shit.
Yeah, and he was like, "Quiet, it don't hurt. Stop crying." I was like, "What?" It hurts like hell.
Well, for them, I feel like for them, it was because the reason why your parents say the things they say is because they probably grew up that way.
Yeah,
that's probably what they were taught.
They definitely grew up. That's what they were taught. Yeah.
No, but like,
don't even get us started in the Filipino Asian.
No, but I'm being for real though. Like
they do that all the time.
That's how they grew up, and that's like how they perceive like caring and how they perceive love and stuff like that. So that's why I never put to fault anything that happens between my parents, because it's just like this is the only way that they were taught. And it's not saying that they're bad parents and they mistreated me, but it's just like this is the way they were taught to love, and this is their way of showing it. And it may not be traditional or how people think love should be shown, but I know what they mean. I know how they feel. Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know. It just depends. I feel like that's why they always tell you like, oh, it's okay. Just like basically walk it off. Yeah. Essentially, like walk it off, yeah. With when you're starting to cry about like an injury or anything like that, just like you'll be fine.
And sometimes that's not horrible advice.
Right.
There's sometimes where you may need to walk it off for like the better of yourself or the better of someone else if it's really necessary. But it's not something you really should drill. Yeah. Especially at an early age.
We should be, our generation should be better, you know, at it. We can do the whole walk it off thing sometimes, but we're all about showing our emotions now.
Yeah. I think it's a lot more accepted to show your emotions more now compared to back then, where, especially for guys, I don't think girls really got scrutinized for that, showing their emotions and stuff. But for guys, it's just like, oh no, he's being a little bitch or something like that. And it's just like, no, not really. And I never really thought of it that way. I just thought like I never wanted to burden anyone with what I'm going through. If I can't handle it, then I'll go to you. But if I think I can handle it on my own, I'll do it. But yeah, that's just a me.
But that's how like drilling that into like teaching, especially young kids, that to like show your emotion, like it allows them to learn what emotions to show and when, like the correct emotions to show. Like if you're angry, give off anger. If you're sad, give off sadness. If you're happy, give off happiness. Not like what some people our age who don't know how to deal with their emotions. When they're sad, they give it off as they're angry, or like they're going through something. They go through it angry,
or they just don't know how to emote in general, so that it builds up, and then it turns into that anger.
And they don't know how to, and that also leads to them knowing how to communicate their emotions to other people, because there is a time and a place to do what, like show a specific emotion and how to show it. It's not always like if you're actually very angry about, so let's say Ness did something out in public that I did not like, I'm not gonna just blow up and like
right then and there. You're gonna wait until you guys can be
we have like time to ourselves to talk about it. And if I need to blow up, I will blow up. But there's always a time and place for things like that. But definitely, like, and especially with young children, like
teach your kids how to emote.
Yeah, teach your kids how to emote, like
because it goes a lot into like attachment and stuff. Yeah. And the way your parenting styles are translates into how your child attaches to you. If they're anxious, avoidant, if they're the other styles that I don't even remember, but that translates over into your relationships in the future, which is why we have to be very careful about how we're going to teach our children in the future.
Yeah, I think that be a man kind of phrasing is such a dangerous thing now.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like the people who are, I wouldn't say problematic, but I would say the people that are struggling or endangering themselves now is because, like, the men who's struggling or endangering themselves now is because they grew up in that super masculine, like, that household, and that affected them to not be able to emote, to not be able to be like, hey, I'm not okay. And psychologically that fucked with them, and then they turn out to be a much more angrier person in general.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like that's where it fucks up. So
yeah, so like it's just, if you start early, it gets easier.
Yeah.
Once you get older, it becomes so hard because you get used to feeling a certain type of way with every emotion, and that's just your normal. So like as you get older, it gets so much harder, and it's such a learning curve.
yeah, because it's like you're basically trying to, it's like, I'll put it this way, it's like you trying to learn a second language really late,
really late,
or like later on,
super
like
late.
Kids
and,
are
because love is a language. Love is a language. Like your emotions is a language in itself.
Right.
So like, if you don't learn that early on, it'll fuck you up. Like you will not be able to communicate with almost anyone unless you find someone just as fucked up as you are.
Which is not necessarily a good
Which
thing.
isn't good, but
all right.
Yeah.
Girl code, your last one.
Mine's a little bit on the lighter note, I guess.
That's fine. That's fine. We could end on a lighter note.
Yeah, ladies, if you're going through something, you're bored, fuck up your hair. When we go through shit, we dye our hair right, like some random color. We cut it. You get bored. Like I cut my bangs over quarantine. I was about to dye my hair red or blue. I don't know.
Didn't you have dyed hair?
I had neon pink hair, like a couple years ago.
I remember that.
And I was going through some shit. Like you.
I didn't know that was the growing through shit.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my like red flags.
What?
Of a girl or for you?
I honestly, when one of our friends would be like asking about a girl, it was one girl in particular.
Oh no.
And he was fiending over her.
Oh yeah.
Do I know this person too?
Yeah.
You know the guy, yeah.
You know the guy.
Oh okay.
You don't know the girl.
You guys could text me that.
And
Actually,
he was
you want
like,
to text this on my phone.
I was gonna say.
But like he was fiending over her, and he was like asking me stuff, and he was like giving me some stories, and then I noticed she had like just shaved her head completely, like shaved all of
Which is a move. Let's not discredit that.
Do you,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if you're in a good mind state,
It's
sure.
But we already knew.
But
she
we
wasn't-
can't discredit her. We don't know everything.
No, we knew after that. We knew everything. Because we are kind of new.
He's just like, fuck your opinion.
We don't know
Yeah.
anything.
She was going through something, and she shaved her head. I was like, no, bro, you gotta back out. Because like, sometimes like that extreme change can mean a lot.
Right.
And that's with not just with females, that can be with like males
guys.
too. And like for us,
What
it's
do
like
guys do?
going to the gym constantly, becoming a gym rat.
No. So the thing is, So the thing is, I think for guys, they want to make themselves look better, so they feel better about themselves.
That's
I
what.
mean,
Is
that's
that the
what-
equivalent that
yeah,
you do
that's
with your
the
hair?
equivalent.
So at
Or is it just
first-
you want to experiment?
Or
So
you
it's
wanna-
both, right? So I want a new, like, it's like you're shedding the old you,
Yeah.
and you're trying to get rid
Ah.
of who you were broken up with, or who you broke up with, or whatever your circumstances, and you're trying to be a new person, and you're trying to show everyone like this is a new me, like I'm a new bitch.
I'm a new bitch.
I'm a new
Nice.
bitch. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay.
But like, yeah, the male equivalent, of the common male equivalent, is definitely going to the gym. I know I did that. Like,
I know I did that shit too. For real.
After that breakup, I was in the gym every day, every single day, and I actually got big, and then I met her,
I think
and I stopped going as much.
there's different outlets for guys,
I felt-
because
No, it's
for
not. It's not. I tried to make him go again. And it's just...
yeah, be lazy. I'm kidding. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. I'm trying to get back into the gym. Honestly, I'm too scared to fucking physically go into a gym.
Oh.
Now,
I'll just work
yeah.
out home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think for me, like I like going to the gym. I felt motivated when I was like with my friends. So whenever I had a breakup, I really didn't necessarily run to a gym. I felt motivated to work out that day.
Right.
But then after that, I was just like, no, this doesn't really motivate me. So what I would end up doing is I would end up writing like something I would film or something I would do, thinking of concepts basically to try to understand what was going on at that point in the relationship, why it happened. I think the writing aspect for me helped me kind of understand both sides of the thing. And then I was just like, all right, cool, I can let this go now. I've never actually made a video where it's been specifically about a person. I've considered it, but it's just like, I don't know if I want to, just because if that person does end up watching the video and then they'll be like, was this about me? I was just like, I don't want to I don't want to interact with that person just because like I would feel bad because I'd just be like, yeah, it's about you. But yeah, like I never want to bring that up to a person. But yeah, I guess I've never really thought about it that way. It's like for you guys, it's just like to shed your own.
Just do it.
I've seen it. I've definitely seen that with a lot of girls who do like to.
It'll grow back. It'll grow back. I promise.
I've definitely seen it with like girls experimenting with like different hairstyles, but I never actually knew the reason behind it. I always genuinely thought that I knew when they were going through it because of whatever they would post.
Yeah.
But when they're just randomly but when they're just randomly doing it, and I kind of expect it from that person, you don't know. Like it's just.
It could be.
It's a mixed bag.
It's a thing now.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's a huge thing now to like just dye your hair some crazy color. But like for me, if I get bored of myself or like I'm going through something, I'm dyeing it. I'm literally going like in the mirror. Like last week I was so bored. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna give myself layers.
But you weren't going through anything. You were just.
I was bored.
You were just bored and wanted to experiment.
Yeah, she was bored and then she dyed my hair because she didn't want to.
Oh my god, yeah, that's why that happened. I forgot. I was sitting there and I was like.
But you liked the outcome.
Yeah, I was gonna do this anyway, but I just wasn't expecting to do it at that time.
You were just like.
I was like.
I mean, I guess, if you want to do it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, no, at first, and then he was like, okay, all right, it's fine.
It's like, no. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
It was like a Wednesday afternoon. Like, whatever.
Yeah, I was so bored.
All right. So for closing comments for this podcast, anything you want to say?
Just don't be a piece of shit. Like honestly, if you see other successful women out there, don't be that woman who like just gets jealous over everything and hates on every other woman. Like be supportive. Believe women.
Sometimes that can be hard because, there's some certain circumstances.
There are circumstances, yeah. Everything is circumstantial, but overall, that's my message. Just stick together.
Antonio, you got anything?
Don't drink and drive. Eat your vegetables. Take your vitamins.
I don't know when we took this.
You don't take your vitamins.
They don't know that. They don't know that.
He doesn't take his vitamins.
Take your vitamins.
He will do it now.
He barely eats.
He'll be a better man now.
Hardly gets nutrition.
We're not even talking about me. Why are you guys coming for me?
You said it's advice to the viewers.
Yeah, doesn't mean I have to follow it.
Yeah, what? He's a hypocrite.
So don't follow I won't follow my advice, but I'll tell you to do it.
You be a better person than I am.
Ah, okay.
Oh God,
that's terrible advice.
Yeah.
All right, so
than me.
my closing comments is bro code and girl code is so fucking shitty in general. It's just like it's a cliche, but like I understand where it's come from because like some of it you can follow, but like it's so vague that you kind of have to explain what it is and not just follow blindly to what it says.
Right.
And I feel like people got that now. I don't think there's a specific thing that girls and guys do just because of girl code or bro code. It's kind of more nuanced now of what we're actually doing.
That's why I said don't be a shitty person. Like this is all human values, like
good
human values to do.
Human.
But like be a human.
Be a decent human.
Be a human. I'm an alien, actually.
No.
But yeah, don't be a shitty person and just in general,
be
just
water. I'm sorry.
Yeah, be water. But don't be shitty. That's great advice.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, that ends it for this podcast. Thank you to Vanessa and Antonio again for being on this podcast with me. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.